What if the real power of a country is not what you see, but what you don't? What if the reason a place feels safe, calm, and controlled has nothing to do with visible force, but everything to do with invisible systems? Because in some countries, security is loud. You see it in heavy patrols, checkpoints, and constant presence. But in others, you don't see it at all. And yet, you feel it. You feel it when you walk at night, and everything is calm. You feel it in the order of traffic, in the discipline of daily life, in the way everything seems to just work. So the question is, how does a system like that exist without being seen? In Rwanda, the answer lies in something deeper, not in force, not in visibility, but in intelligence. In Rwanda, security is not something that is only seen through uniforms, checkpoints, or visible enforcement. It is something that is built into the way the country functions. From the outside, what most people notice is the order, the cleanliness of the streets, the calm movement of people, the discipline in everyday life. For example, when you walk through Kigali early in the morning, everything feels organized. Public transport runs in order, streets are clean, and people follow clear routines. Even late at night, in many parts of the city, there is a sense of calm that many visitors notice immediately. People walking, small businesses still open, movement continuing without tension. But what is often not seen is the system behind that stability, a system that does not depend on reaction, but on preparation, a system that is not loud, but highly structured and intentional. Rwanda's approach to security is deeply rooted in awareness. It is based on the understanding that maintaining stability is not about waiting for problems to happen, but about identifying risks early and managing them before they grow. This is where intelligence becomes central, not as something mysterious or dramatic, but as a continuous process of observing, understanding, and anticipating. It is about knowing what is normal in society and being able to quickly recognize when something does not fit that pattern. For instance, in many neighborhoods, unusual behavior, like unfamiliar movement at odd hours or disruption in normal routines, is quickly noticed. You might see how people naturally pay attention to their surroundings, or how something slightly out of place can draw quiet awareness without creating panic. That level of attentiveness, even when subtle, is part of the system. At the core of this system is information. But not just information in large quantities, information that is relevant, organized, and understood. In Rwanda, security systems rely on the ability to connect different pieces of information across environments. Social behavior, movement patterns, public activity, all of these contribute to a broader understanding of what is happening at any given time. Think about how organized public transport systems operate in Kigali. Buses follow structured routes, passengers line up, and movement is predictable. When something changes, a delay, an unusual interruption, or confusion, it becomes noticeable immediately. The same applies in busy places like markets or taxi parks, where despite the activity, there is still an underlying order that people follow. Individually, these details may seem small, but when combined, they form a clear picture that allows decisions to be made with precision. What makes this system effective is not just the collection of information, but the way it is analyzed. Because information alone can be misleading if it is not properly interpreted. Rwanda's strength lies in turning information into understanding, identifying patterns, evaluating situations, and making calculated decisions. This allows the system to move from simply reacting to events to anticipating them. For example, during large public events or national gatherings, you may notice how everything runs smoothly. People arrive in an organized way, security presence is calm but effective, and movement flows without chaos. Even when crowds are large, there is rarely confusion or disorder. This level of coordination is not accidental. It reflects preparation and analysis happening long before the event begins. Another defining characteristic of Rwanda's security system is its invisibility. Unlike systems that rely heavily on visible force, Rwanda's approach is more subtle. The objective is not to create fear or display power, but to maintain control through structure and coordination. This means that many of the most important processes happen in the background, without public attention. The system works quietly, ensuring that stability is maintained without disrupting normal life. Even in busy areas, markets, bus stations, or city centers, the environment feels controlled without being overwhelming. You may not see heavy enforcement, but you feel the order. Visitors often describe this feeling, not because they see security everywhere, but because they don't feel disorder. Discipline also plays a major role. Security in Rwanda is not based on isolated actions, but on consistent processes. There is a strong emphasis on organization, responsibility, and adherence to standards. This level of discipline ensures that the system remains reliable over time. For example, traffic flow in Kigali often reflects this discipline. Drivers respect lanes, pedestrians cross in designated areas, and even during busy hours, there is a sense of coordination. You might notice how motorcycles line up in an organized way, or how public spaces remain structured even when crowded. These are small things, but together, they reflect a larger system of order. Because in security, even small lapses can have significant consequences. Consistency is what allows the system to function effectively day after day. But beyond institutions and systems, there is also a societal dimension. Security in Rwanda is supported by a culture of awareness among the population. People are generally attentive, respectful of order, and conscious of their environment. This shared responsibility strengthens the overall system without requiring constant enforcement. For example, community-level organization and local awareness play a role in maintaining stability. There is a sense that people are not only living in the system, but also contributing to it. Even simple behaviors, like following rules, respecting public space, or being mindful of others, reinforce the environment of stability. Ultimately, Rwanda's security system reflects a broader philosophy, that true stability is not achieved through force alone, but through understanding, planning, and coordination. It is a system that focuses on preventing problems rather than reacting to them. And in many ways, its success is not measured by visible action, but by the absence of disruption. When you move through the city, whether in the early morning, during the day, or late at night, and everything feels calm, organized, and predictable, that is not by chance. It is the result of a system working continuously in the background. Because when a system is working at its highest level, it does not need to be seen. It simply works, quietly, consistently, and effectively, shaping an environment where order is maintained, risks are minimized, and security becomes part of everyday life. What you see is only part of the story, because the most powerful systems are not the ones that are visible, but the ones working silently in the background. And this is just the beginning. In the next episode, we go even deeper, uncovering how control is maintained without being seen. So if you want to understand how power really works, make sure you subscribe to Neza TV, because here, we don't just show you what's happening, we show you what's behind it.